The Chargers had one of the most exciting teams in the whole league last year, and their offense was amazing, and now their defense is just as good with all the acquisitions we got in free agency this year. This mock draft will be super important to kind of see where we need to fill our holes on the offense and defensive side. Offense, I'm going to go really offensive line heavy in this draft, and then the defensive side, you'll just have to see and find. With the 17th overall pick, I think the Chargers will select Kenyon Green, guard out of Texas A&M. This is a guard out of Texas A&M, but he also can play tackle as he did last year, and he played at a high level. This is important to get a player who could also play guard and tackle because, as we know, we cut Ryan Bulaga. We need a new tackle/guard situation figured out. We also know Matt Feiler played right tackle for the Steelers, and he played really well at right tackle. So we can move him over and put Kenyon Green at guard, or if Green is more comfortable playing tackle, then we can keep Feiler at guard where we already know he plays well. So either way, I think this is a really important move for the Chargers so we could only bolster our offensive line and continue to be one of the best offenses in the league. With the 79th pick in the third round, I think the Chargers will choose Darian Beavers, linebacker out of Cincinnati. This linebacker actually started his college career as a safety, made the move to linebacker, then did some work at the end, and then came back to a linebacker role. This is the perfect type of player for Coach Staley, as we just lost Kaiser White and Uchenna in free agency, and this type of player can do both of what Kaiser White can do and what Uchenna Nwosu could do on the D end. So he could fill two players' holes and do it at a high level. This is the exact type player that we need. He gained 100 pounds over his collegiate career to be able to be a linebacker. He's 6'4", 235 pounds. He's not too big, but he's obviously the type of player that, Coach Staley, again, would love to be in a linebacker role because he has the mindset of a safety, the build of a linebacker, and then he could even do some defensive end work if we really need him there. So I love this for the Chargers, and I think that will be our third round pick. With the 123rd pick in the fourth round, I think the Chargers select Zach Tom, offensive tackle out of Wake Forest. He's 295 pounds and 6'5", so he's not the tallest and biggest, but what he lacks in size, he gains in his footwork and great hands. His hands are great at latching onto the defenders and then letting go before it's considered obviously a holding call. And that's obviously big because the Chargers had a bunch of holding and different type of offensive line flag calls last year that we would love to clean up. And that's why I want to continue to focus on offensive line in this draft, because if we could build depth on an already good offensive line, then we'll only get so much better. With the 160th pick in the fifth round, the Chargers, in my opinion, will select Cordell Flott, corner out of LSU. He was obviously next to names like Derek Stingley, so you might not know who he is, but I do. And this man is a beast. Cordell Flott did not play that well in 2020, but once they realized he was better in the slot and they moved him into the slot in 2021, he had 17 balls thrown to him, only allowed 2 catches, and those were the only time 2 catches while in the slot. So just imagine him and Asante Samuel together, splitting snaps. I don't want Asante Samuel to get all the snaps because obviously it's concussion issue. So if we could bring in a Cordell Flott type player who could also get the snaps when Asante Samuel is either injured or just needs some rest, then I'll take it, because he had 17 balls thrown to him, only allowed 2 catches. He had 2 forced fumbles, and then it also, 7 batted balls. So he was not allowing people to catch the ball on him last season. I think that's only going to translate to this one. And that's really exciting because our cornerback room is already really good. If we could add in Flott for depth, that'll be everything. With the 195th pick in the 6th round, I believe the Chargers will select Ty Chandler, running back out of North Carolina. Yes, I know that we should get a running back earlier in the draft, but Ty Chandler is someone that I think will be there and is good enough to be a running back to Austin Ekeler. His senior stats, he had 182 carries with 1,029 rushing yards, 6 yards per carry, and 13 touchdowns. This man was a beast from start to finish last season, and this is the perfect type player that we could complement Austin Ekeler with. He's basically a bigger Austin Ekeler who would be perfect on third down, ground and pound. We have another pick in the 6th round. So with the 214th pick in the 6th round, I believe the Chargers should get Danny Gray. Man, this wide receiver was cooking up my University of Houston Cougars every single time we played them. Listen, so I worked for University of Houston. I've seen this man play in person. His route running, his separation, his speed is insane. The other things too is though he's a great run and pass blocker. Like he's actually getting in the blocks, making sure that his other players are getting the yards, touchdowns, and the good plays that the team needs to win. So I really like Danny Gray. His 2021 stats were 49 receptions, 803 yards, and 9 touchdowns. I only think that will be better with a star-studded quarterback like Justin Herbert. But of course, the wide receiver room there's a lot of people there. And that's why I don't understand why so many Charger fans are like, oh, let's get Chris Olave in the first round. We just re-signed Mike Williams, re-signed Jalen Guyton, and drafted Josh Palmer last season. I don't know where y'all think we're going to get a first round wide receiver. It doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense, especially when they're speedsters like Gray in the 6th round that we could possibly get. This man ran a 4.33 in the combine, and he was clocked to be the fastest top speed runner at the Senior Bowl. And we know Coach Staley, we know Telesco, they love that Senior Bowl. That's how they saw Herbert, that's how they saw Joshua Palmer, that's how they've seen Slater. So we use the Senior Bowl, we use these type of things to find these diamonds in the rough. And if we could get him at the 6th round, I'll be geeked. I'll be so happy because literally he will change our whole offense. He's Chris Olave, but like low-key. With the 236th pick in the 7th round, I think the Chargers select Patrick Paul, offensive tackle out of Houston. Like I said, I worked for University of Houston. I actually know this guy. He's absolutely a monster. 6'7", 315 pounds, and he's only getting better. If we could get him with good coaching staff like Coach Staley and his offensive line coach, I know this guy will for sure develop into being a great rotational player for the offensive line and a great backup for Rashawn Slater. This man is really, really good. He's tall. He does have some mechanics that he needs to work on. But like I said, with the right coaching, he could develop into a really, really good NFL prospect. So yeah, I love Patrick Paul for our first 7th round pick. With the 254th pick in the 7th round, I think the Chargers will add to the depth of the defensive line in DJ Dale, defensive lineman from Alabama. He's a senior, he's been with Alabama, he knows what it takes to win, and that's the type of thing that Coach Staley is going to want and try finding in the later rounds. We're going to add depth, we're going to develop him, and he's going to be able to hopefully get some plays in the defensive line. We do have a good amount of players in the defensive line, but I do think he's a great depth. With the 255th pick in the 7th round, I think the Chargers should select Lucas Krull, tight end out of Pitt. Man, this man is 6'6", 254 pounds, absolute beast. He had 38 receptions, 451 yards last year, and 6 touchdowns. Now, the thing is, he transferred from Florida to Pitt to basically play with Kenny Pickett. So he's actually they're trying to say Kenny Pickett will be a first-round quarterback. If that's the case, then Lucas has played with a first-round level type quarterback. So you bring in him with Justin Herbert, I think he has the potential, main word, potential to be the likes of Mark Andrews. And as we both know, Justin Herbert loved throwing to Mark Andrews in the Pro Bowl. So I do think this is a great move. This would be the last great acquisition that we would need to complete the tight end room. As we know, Anderson just left on a new 1-year contract. So we need a tight end. We don't need one because we got Gerald Everett, but I think it will be nice to build depth and getting this type of player in Lucas Krull, who is 6'6", Parham is 6'8". If we could continue to add height on the tight end level and then be able to have bigger guys in the red zone, I'm all for it. So yes, Lucas Krull in the 7th round will become a Charger. We made it to the very last pick, and I know every Chargers fan wants this guy, so let's have some fun with it. The 260th pick in the 7th round will be Matt Araiza, punter out of San Diego State University. Now, sadly, we did just sign a punter, so I don't think this will happen, but oh my gosh, it would be so awesome to finally have a punter who could kick bombs, and he actually can kick field goals. So if our kicker ever got hurt, then we could, bring in, our good old punter, and we would be good. But like I said, we just signed a punter. This most likely isn't going to happen. I would love it to happen, but most likely it's not going to happen. Now, this is the end of this video, but I am going to be making another video where I said the trade scenarios on how we could kind of move down some in the 1st round and possibly get a 2nd round pick. If you like this video, make sure to give it a like, comment, share, and of course, follow me because there's gonna be way more videos just like this.